Good morning, Minnesota DFLers, and welcome to the DFL Daily. Richard Karlbaum here, chair of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party. We got some incredibly exciting news. The press release went out at I think 4:15 a.m. our time. And joining us today to talk about this incredible news is Jake Johnson, our candidate for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. Jake Johnson's joining us. He's the Jake Johnson's campaign manager is joining us, Nick Marda. Nick, welcome to the DFL Daily. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Richard, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
Awesome. Nick, you're here to share some exciting news about the Jake Johnson campaign. What is it?
I am. So earlier this morning, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, which is the campaign arm for House Democrats, added Jake Johnson to their Red to Blue program, which is their list of top targeted campaigns in the entire country to flip districts from red to blue. So there are only 30 races in the entire country on this list. It's a very sort of small and selective list of campaigns that the DCCC believes that Democrats can win in and flip from Republican control to Democratic control. And so we got added to that list, and it's a really big deal. It means it'll help us a lot with raising money, with having some of the additional support we need to build on top of what we've already built here. And it is a recognition of all of the hard work we've done on the ground already to build a strong campaign. And I know many of you have been a part of that in one way or another. So thank you for being a part of that and getting us set up to have a really strong start to the remaining 100-ish days to Election Day.
That's fantastic. And I noted that only 5 people total were added this morning. So
Yes.
Minnesota's 1st congressional district is only one of 5 districts across the entire country that was added to the list today. So that means that they're really, really honing in on who can actually help us flip Congress. And Minnesota's 1st district is there. I know that the 6th, 7th, and 8th congressional district campaigns are doing fantastic work, and we're hopeful
Mhm.
we can add them soon as well.
Yep. And I think this is one of those campaign cycles where running a strong campaign with a strong candidate um, can really put so many more districts in play this cycle. I think we should not take any district for granted. And I personally am very excited to see strong campaigns being run all across the state in a number of the congressional districts that you just mentioned as well, Richard.
Absolutely. We've had Jake Johnson on the call a couple of times, but he grew up in Stewartville, one of 10 siblings. The community really helped raise his middle class family. He's taught high school math in Rochester for 20 years. He and his wife, Molly, are raising 4 boys in Rochester. I want to say I went to Winona on Sunday night for a Jack Hadeen event, and 2 people taught me to talk to me about Jake. One of them was a principal at one of the schools Jake was at for a while, and she was so excited that Jake's running. Just the personal validators that are out there across southern Minnesota for Jake are really, really impressive. What else should listeners on this call know about Jake, and what should we know about what he's up against?
Sure. So I'll just add one more personal validation, which is that Jake was actually my high school math teacher as well. And so this is very personal for
Did
me.
you like math because
Uh,
of him?
I I did like math. He helped me like it more. And also the fact that he got so many people to like math, even people who didn't like math, or more importantly, got people to like him even when they didn't like math, I think says a lot about him.
Absolutely.
So Jake is truly one of those people where his former students, think the world of him, me included on that. And so you asked me about sort of, Jake's campaign, what he's going up against, right? Um, so Jake is a working class guy who really understands what Minnesotans are going through. And so his campaign is really centered on speaking to those economic needs and economic opportunity that he got to experience growing up in Stewartville. And he's going up against a congressman who is bankrolled by big corporations and special interests, who is in DC voting for policies that don't help the people of southern Minnesota, that in fact make life more expensive and harder in southern Minnesota, voting for an Iran war, voting for the big beautiful bill that took millions of dollars out of healthcare, rural healthcare here in southern Minnesota, voting for tariffs that are making life more expensive. And so the contrast in our race is very clear. Jake is a champion for working families, and Brad Finstead is selling them out in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to help you spread that message as much as possible. What are the core issues Jake is hearing from voters in the 1st district? And I think you just alluded to it, right? It's the
Yeah.
economic, it's the pocketbook. Talk to me a little bit about what you're hearing from
It's
voters.
very much affordability in many different dimensions, right? I think there's sort of the big picture affordability crisis that we're in. working families across the district working harder than ever before, struggling more and more to make ends meet. Wages aren't keeping up, prices keep going up, right? And you see this at the grocery store, but now you see it at the gas pump as well, driven by the Iran war. Um, and tariffs across the board that are jacking up prices for so many different things. The thing I would layer on top of that, though, is in the first district, which is a very ag-heavy district that is also home to the Mayo Clinic. The affordability crisis is further compounded. Our farmers are struggling more as well as the cost of diesel and fertilizer goes up because of the Iran war, while at the same time they're losing export markets because of tariffs. And so our farmers are also struggling with their own economic crisis here. And at the same time, small business owners are feeling a very similar pinch as well. Um, and so we're seeing that on one side. And then on the healthcare side, we're seeing money taken out of rural healthcare in a district where 1 in 4 folks work in healthcare and human services. And so to see money taken out of that is not only a healthcare issue in our district, it's a jobs issue, it's an access to healthcare issue, and it's affordability issue as well. Um, for folks to be able to afford care in their own communities. And so that's what we're seeing across the board. And we have Brad Finstead voting to make life harder while we on this campaign are talking about how do we actually support policies that will make life cheaper and easier in southern Minnesota. And I think that's going to be the sort of the referendum put to the people here in November. And we are optimistic that that message aligns with what the people of southern Minnesota want.
Absolutely. One of the things I think about is that, you know, families are facing increasing cost of living burden.
Yep.
Groceries are up, gas is up, obviously, housing, healthcare, and these are all driven not by inflation, but by choices made by Brad Finstead. His vote for the big, beautiful bill gutting healthcare, driving up healthcare costs. His vote for tariffs and protecting Donald Trump's tariffs and celebrating Donald Trump's tariffs are driving up egg input costs, right? And
Right.
then finally, his repeated support of the war of choice in Iran is driving up energy prices, gas prices especially, but that increases all the other prices because getting goods to market requires diesel, fuel, and gas. And so it's not lost on me. That has nothing to do with inflation. Costs increased right now are the direct result of choices made by Brad Finstead, and we're going to remind every single voter of that every chance we get. So
Yep.
electing Jake is going to take every single one of us. Why is it so important for us to have all hands on deck for this race?
Because we're going up against a true sort of big corporate billionaire machine. This is now that this race has such a big national profile, national Republicans and their sort of corporate backers, billionaire buddies are going to spend here. It's going to be a big race, and I mean, you look at Brett Finstead's campaign filings, right? You can see how much of his campaign is propped up by all of these corporate entities that don't even live or operate meaningfully in our district, right? It's all these people who want special favors and deals from a member of Congress. And so that's what we're going up against. And so to be able to take that on, we're building a grassroots movement here. We take no corporate PAC money. We collected over 5,000 signatures to get Jake on the ballot. It is a very grassroots effort here. And so folks, regular folks joining our movement is what it will take to be able to get this done. And so I really hope that you'll join our campaign. If you go to jakejohnsonforcongress.com, there are sort of 2 specific ways right now that would be really helpful to the campaign. The first is donating, which I'll send a link for in the chat. And then the second is
Our
signing
team
up to
actually posted
volunteer.
it in the chat already.
Yeah. Oh, Connor's got it too. Yep, that's the link for the website. And then I'll send the link to volunteer as well. We actually also have a phone bank tonight because we knew there would be a little bit of excitement when this news came out. And so if you are free this evening, that's where you can sign up to make some calls tonight. We do have to reach as many voters as we can across southern Minnesota and not take any voter for granted. Our campaign is really trying to reach everyone, showing up in places that where they may have not heard from a DFLer in recent history. And we believe it's really important to show up, share our message, and try to bring people into the campaign that we're building.
Awesome. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us. Full steam ahead for these last 98 days. I'll be in CD or I'll be at Farm Fest next week. It's not
Yeah,
CD1 actually now.
we'll be there.
But I'll be at Farm Fest to watch Jake and our other congressional candidates do the forum business on the 4th. And then on the 5th, of course, we have the Senate and the governor's race forum. So I'm excited about that as well. We'll do the DFL Daily Live from Farm Fest next week a little bit too. So maybe we'll have Jake, if he's there 2 days, well, maybe we can have him on as a special guest at one point. Thank you for being here today, Nick. Congratulations on this red to blue designation. It's going to take all of us to help. Go volunteer at the phone bank tonight, make a contribution. As Lori Sellner said in the chat earlier, our CD1 chair, the Jake Johnson campaign has been so disciplined and diligent in the work that they've done. Keep it up, Nick. Thank you for your leadership. And ultimately, we have 98 days until the November 3rd midterm election. As we say, let's go win this thing.